All right. Yes, I will be recording this conversation.
Okay.
Um, and please don't hesitate to interrupt if you have any questions.
Okay.
Awesome. So, first off, um, no, that's amazing. First off, can I get the place you're going to be at for the solar return, which is actually today at 10
Yeah.
a.m.?
Yeah. It is Round Rock, Texas.
How do you spell that?
Round ROUND space Rock ROCK.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you spell that one more time?
ROUND space ROCK. Texas.
Oh, Round Rock.
Yes.
Round Rock, Texas. Gotcha. Oh, and it's two words. Gotcha. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much for your patience, by the way. Definitely means a lot.
You're welcome.
All right. So I love solar return charts just due to the sheer accuracy. I was very much so skeptical until I ran my 2017 solar return, and it was in the 10th house. And that was the year I actually became Magic Mike and I broke through my career. Yeah, it was awesome. Um, it it definitely made me see clearly like how important it is for the reference place to be on point. Um, which is actually even more peculiar because at the time Astrological was saying that she uses the wait a minute. Yeah, she uses the birthplace as a reference place instead of the city that you're in. So I'm
Right.
personally going to look more into that. I know I've definitely seen accuracy with the city you're in, but there is merit to the birthplace too, for
Yeah,
sure.
no, I can definitely see where it would there would be a lot of weight in it being where you currently are located. And I know that for myself,
Right.
there was a big shift in my when I relocated a couple years back. So
Right. Which is really good to know. So another important thing is that um it's very significant when your solar return has the same rising sign or is in the same rising sign. To me, that's like a return to yourself for
mhm.
that year. So it's and even more so if it's the moon. But we know your natal moon's in Pisces and your solar return moon is in Libra. And your natal rising is in Libra, your solar return rising is in Libra. So very, very revealing. This is definitely going to not only kind of reestablish the importance of who you've become and how you kind of reset much of this wisdom, but also where you're in a position to head to.
Mhm.
And thankfully, because knowing that you have Pluto in Libra, this is also occurring during the period where how do I say this? Yeah, this is also occurring during the period where Pluto is getting ready to leave Capricorn. So you're getting ready to kind of like break through the stress and pressure of the square that is incurred because of Pluto and Libra squaring Pluto and Cap, which the direct nature of the square has been long since you know transcended, but definitely once
Mhm.
again. So once again, please don't hesitate to interrupt if you have any questions or anything you want to mention
Okay.
at any point. And yeah, if anything, this is really just going to very powerfully, because we see that the solar return sun for you is in the 12th, it's going to really be a great year of release, but more so transcendence. Normally, solar return suns in water signs speak more to you kind of, especially in the 12th, isolating yourself, but preparing to step into a profound sense of magic mastery. And once again, because you already have this natally in your chart, thankfully it's not really going to illustrate anything you're not used to.
Hmm.
We're just gonna see more so of reestablishment of how much you've grown with these energies, give or take. So, whereas in your natal chart you have the moon opposite your sun, in this solar return chart, you have Neptune opposite the sun, which the right off the bat, the impression I get is like you're going to be revisiting this year certain facets that you've long since grown in early childhood, and that's definitely a major part of this solar return. And another good thing about this is we want to look at the AC as the first chapter as a solar return. So for that year that I became Magic Mike, for example, the sun was in my 10th house. The AC for me was when the moon, I had my solar return moon on the AC in Virgo. So I didn't move to Vegas until Virgo season, that first chapter. And then around that time was when I became Magic Mike, and that's really when it started. So even though it started a bit before, the AC was the first chapter. And you, happy birthday, by the way, in
Thank you.
advance.
Thank you.
Um, and so even though, it's kind of amazing that you have this 12th house origin, because you get to start the first chapter immediately as soon as we step into Libra. So it's amazing this way because it kind of just puts you right on track. And the way we want to look at solar returns is that the first from the first house to the seventh house, you're fulfilling the work that needs to be put in, and then from the seventh house back to Virgo season, you're manifesting everything that you put in. So we're going to start the first chapter in Libra, and this is with the moon and Mercury in Libra. Mars is retrograde, right? So we're going to see, we have Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn in the fourth house for you in this fourth chapter. And this is going to be this year kind of, if we put everything together, you're transcending the mechanism of how you make a living and of how you even, operate by instilling greater foundation and control over your home operation. But as a Libra rising, actually, which is cool because similar to the 2016, 2017, you also have the moon on your rising. So a large reason why I became Magic Mike. The Virgo is magic, but the moon is more the psychic ability here. So this
Hmm.
is you. This is you this year. Not only do you have moon, but you have Mercury. So this is you this year, utilizing intuitive ability and mental processing to socially engage with others, being the artist, being the cosmic agent per se. And this is going to reevaluate the assertion and assertiveness with how you partner and deal with other people. Major facet of
That's
this year. What was that?
yeah. That's no. That's just currently what have been experiencing in the last maybe 6 weeks or so. So
Oh, okay, cool.
yeah. So no, it makes absolute sense.
Yeah, really good to know because like basically after this year, the flip is switching because a lot of people don't realize that you're like you're supernatural. Your very existence is supernatural. You got Uranus so close to your AC as well. Mercury has returned. So, I mean, having a Pisces moon is a divine completion and an ultimate version of Virgo sun that's completed here. So you have ascended quality as a master magician with the master 26 degrees. So this, oh, okay. What I really love about this chart is that a lot of your solar return planets are on your natal planets. Like Neptune's on your natal moon, Chiron and Jupiter is on the transiting Mars, and then the North Node is on your natal Mars, and it's really really key. We'll get into more of what that means. But
Bless you.
thank you. But once again, with the Mars retrograde, it's like there's a kindness to Virgo. However, there's a revolution and innovation to Uranus. And the 0 degree Uranus that you were born with is now 10 degrees Taurus. You're on the heels of this completion. This is the year you definitively manifest the depth of your soul into more of your physiology, as per this opposition. However, I really do feel with this Mars in the 7th, it's like a flip is going to switch where you no longer hold yourself back. It's almost as if like, because you were never just kind for no reason. It's not like you're just, some people are just nice in a fake way, but like you genuinely care to like balance, fix, and to really, be of service
Yeah.
in a way with, especially in the 12th house, you're okay with not even getting credit for all the help you do. Like you're purely selfless in a lot of ways. So, or
Sounds like
divinely
my
so.
business.
Wow, which is amazing. So it looks like there's a flip of the switch happening because this T square is very harsh and it's very powerful. So the 4th house energy tolerates no disrespect with Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter here. And that energy and attitude is going to be translated to Mars, which will fundamentally shift how much more aggressive and powerful. Like you'll still keep the Libran grace and charm, but it's just going to be holding back even less and triggering who needs to be triggered with Chiron here too, because it's a bit of a like it's just at the point where certain individuals just need to be checked in this way to facilitate more peace and
Hmm.
just no nonsense really. So the first chapter of this is obviously clearing Virgo is releasing relative to this year, of course, thankfully knowing that you're already liberalizing. This 4th house chapter in transit is releasing old beliefs about how you operate based on a deeper foundation. Of course, this 4th house chapter is having you inherit all your ancestral power and wisdom about, your home life before this goes into your 5th. So the first part of Libra season and Capricorn season is clearing the Capricorn energy into Aquarius. And this is also establishing, remember, 12th house solar return is transcendence, divine transcendence now, because Neptune is opposite this. So the purpose of this is to make obsolete everything you're doing now and to completely, unlock supernatural potential in how you upgrade a great facet of how you do everything, how of course pertaining to Virgo. So we can actually pertain this to, because Neptune is in your 6th as a Libra rising, it's making divine your lifestyle by transcending your day-to-day routine, aligning it with the intuitive genius of your imagination. So the sun in the 12th house solar return is a gift from the sun to now unlock at a much more expert level the spiritual path that in Virgo can be broken down very realistically to match this divine transcendent lifestyle you're stepping into. And this to me has everything to do with taking the mastered nature of your intuitive psychic abilities and fully incorporating them into the work you do more. So basically more of what you've been doing, but now it's like a pure unlocking, especially, and a huge key to this is the North Node that's in the 9th house in Gemini. That's going to really ascend the greater truth and knowledge of what goes into you also creatively expressing a lot of what you do. So Libra season is where you step into the personification and identification of this archetype for this year. Not only is there the moon that will have you be receptive to the social environment, but then also Mercury that'll have you speak and communicate to this. That's going to be squaring the Capricorn energy. So you're entering the conflict by identifying the problems that need to be changed and fixed, balanced, and addressed. This, of course, will bring, this is also representative of all the social issues that the world is facing right now. So you're going to be stepping into character by initiating this. And then, of course, Scorpio season is manifesting the value and worth of the wisdom that goes into this deeper soul transformation and this transcendence of spirit. This is what's going to manifest the 12th house Virgo in palatable wisdom opposite to Uranus and Taurus that will make super unconventional and never before seen the ways with which you can apply this newly found wisdom based on the actions taken Libra season and how you've defined your character based on this new launch towards leading into Sagittarius season, which will be the eclipse, and now develop the attitude of how you'll communicate and rather show to people as a Libra rising what needs to change, what issues are still prevalent, because this will now take a part of the eclipse and be trining the solar return Mars retrograde. This is what's going to be giving you a perception of how assertively you're going to be interacting with others come April, which now from Sagittarius points in the right direction, leading into Capricorn, which will now actually transform, address, and change these issues, which by then the outer planets will be in Aquarius. So once we step into Aries season to Cancer season, the narrative is switched to where everything that's addressed, you've now manifested. The need to be assertive to address these issues in Libra, you're bringing that in Aries. The wisdom that you've manifested in Scorpio is now concrete and material in Taurus, and you're using that wisdom to physically deal with other people. So before we kind of go deeper into that, once again, it's kind of important to illustrate from Libra season to Capricorn season is the setup. This is what's going to fill in relative to this cycle that's getting ready to shift into Aquarius, who you are, the value of this, and what tools you're bringing in to make the rest of this transit a reality. And it's very key because this is also a part of the greatest collective shift of our time. And to see the central energies you have impacting your natal in a degree, because your Saturn is 0 degrees Leo, this is going to trigger considerable shifts once Jupiter and Saturn are 0 degrees Aquarius. That's going to square your 0 degree Scorpio. It's going to oppose 0 degrees Saturn. And because Uranus is currently 10 degrees Taurus, it's going to complete the fixed cross. So end of December, I would say the last week of December is where that's going to happen. And this is going to now be the turning point where these catalysts shift the energy considerably. And it's breaking you through. Any inhibitive factor before that was kind of a challenge, now through your own actions and merit, are not only completely breaking through, but getting ready to now shift this narrative with the energy in your fifth towards now being put in a position to take the social disposition and power and influence and now manifest creatively with your writing, with your talent, with your words, with how you can connect the collective together and fulfill more what it is that you aim to do with your business, with your lifestyle, with your work. But one thing that's going to be miraculous here coming into, remember, this all kicks off Libra season. If anything, the rest of this Virgo season is powerful for you to rest, to kind of gain, greater clarity and hindsight. Everything's just really going to come to you the next 3 days. Once we step into Libra season, it's action time based off of that. So basically, everything that you kind of fill in Libra season, Scorpio season, Sagittarius season, and Capricorn season is now further integrated, which we'll step into shortly. but it's just very important. Once again, like the hardest part and the most work is going to be the next 3 months, which is really just kind of a reevaluation. Like, who am I now? How am I? The Libra season is going to define your actions based on the clashes that you have with differing opinions. It's also election cycle. It's going to be very dramatic.
Yeah.
So do you have
Yeah.
any questions so far?
No, I think I was pretty spot on. Currently my business is that I am an intuitive, and I, I've been having issues because of standing in my power, standing and selling and saying my truth. And there have just been
Mm-hmm.
a lot of like, I don't know, just castigation of that my truth is not a truth. And so I had a hard time standing up in that and saying, no, you can't just say that. You have to, be inclusive of everyone. And so lost some quote unquote friends along the way. And to the point where I thought maybe this is not what my business is supposed to be any longer. Maybe I should just go get like a normal job like I used to have. But realized that I would greatly regret doing so. So I've just been
Right.
keep on keeping on. And so this makes sense that, that this last few weeks of what I've been experiencing are essentially just to, you know, um, pull the rubber band back even further and then set the launch.
Yeah. And if anything, I would say once we step past the fourth house Capricorn and you've set the harder parts to set, just because, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's really just going to be kind of like going up that hill, still standing for what you believe and really fielding whatever challenges come through. And then we're going to see this shift considerably once we actually step into Aquarius season. So
Hmm.
the challenge will be now more so walking downhill, where it was difficult to go up that hill. Now you're coming down the Capricorn mountain, and you're getting ready to integrate everything that was necessary to, set up a lot of the work you've been doing, which is even more important because, um, you know, cause I'm so glad you mentioned the truth. I think that's the most important part because that's the North Node Gemini lesson of this year for you, where Mars is. So you're the aggressive, philosophical, uh, argumentative nature of this is in your favor to keep fighting for, even if it doesn't have to even be like aggressive fighting, but even if just standing face,
Hmm.
because once we come into Sagittarius season, this is where you've manifested that wisdom that goes into showing those around you that you were actually right. But what you were saying was the truth, especially around June, Gemini season. Now you're showing people, hey, like it is the truth. And the evidence is actually coming out now in Virgo season, which you don't have to prove it to anyone because you live it. So right? It is very much the truth. But
Yeah.
this is where you come to show people Sagittarius season, the meaning of such. And that's what's going to shift the energy of how you approach others, where you may have held back because of this backlash, to where now you don't have any reason to hold back because, like, the same things that were being used to undermine and inhibit you have now been rendered effectiveness. And that's what's going to lead us in the Capricorn season, where you wrap up this foundation, um, and then Aquarius season, where we start this new fifth house chapter for you in your natal chart, especially, is still going to fall in the fourth. But since it rules the fifth, it's now shifting the dynamics, especially relative to the collective changes we'll experience of being more in control and now kind of picking up traction here. So aqua season is going to now facilitate the creative means with how and the knowledge and advanced abilities that's going to go into you establishing this, while also drawing in Venus in Leo in the solar return chart to really add to the charm and the desirability to now match the intellect that goes into the fifth house aqua with the passion which you'll share with others in the 11th. This is now what's going to integrate in Pisces season. So everything that's happening now, because this started Virgo season, you're kind of manifesting the end of this. And everything that you're kind of intending to manifest in your routine now starts to come in place Pisces season as we fulfill this opposition. And this is when, from Pisces season to Leo season, we're now fulfilling the opposition of everything you set in place. Libra season and Aries, the assertiveness towards others in partnerships. Taurus, the physical manifestation of this wisdom to deal with others unconventionally, which will be squaring this newly found aqua energy to make sure that you have the courage to be trusted, or to trust yourself, to trust others, or to deal with trust issues in the application of these new ideas. And then the beliefs that you showed people Sagittarius season, you're rounding up again to close the eclipse Gemini season with making more of a fact and truth. And then the foundation you addressed Capricorn season, that is taking the clashes of you stepping into your power, is now being established to the world in Cancer season. And then the creative talents that, because the purpose of this fifth house chapter is having you reestablish your talents, almost revive your talents, and you'll be able to express this in Leo season to the groups and communities that you're around with Venus to polish it and make it so much more powerful. Of course, by then, Mars will have long since been gone from the retrograde and begin to catch up with the rest of the signs. And, this is going to have you release old beliefs about yourself in favor to align to a much deeper divine lifestyle. But seeing that this is tied to your work, it's also going to transcend how you do your work too.
That's good to know. Real good to know.
Awesome.
All right.
What was
I'm
that?
sorry. You cut out for a second there.
Oh, that's no problem. Yeah, I was just saying that in a nutshell is the solar return. I think the 12th house nature of the solar return can make it seem a bit too abstract. Like it'll be very personal to you. I feel like this really is more so about you understanding your hidden ability and how to like translate that to your lifestyle and work than anything.
Okay. I guess where it works in one spot, it will flow into the other.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, Michael. Well, thank you very much for the reading. I appreciate it.
No problem. You stay blessed as always. I'm going to send you the recording right now.
Okay, doke. Sounds good. And you have my permission if you wanted to use it on your YouTube.
Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you. I'll make sure I do that. All righty.